Hey everyone, today I'm just going to do some figure studies. I'm not going to do it timed, I'm just going to draw and see how it feels. I'm going to use a pastel pencil today. This is a Conte Paris. Does it zoom in? Oh, I think you can kind of see that. I think it's just a sanguine pencil, or it's pastel 007, which is basically sanguine. Sharpened it with just a knife and a bit of sandpaper to get this long point. And I'm working on just like a newsprint block, which I think I got in Edinburgh. What's the brand? I'll figure out the brand later and I'll put it in the description. The references I'm using, I'm pretty sure, are from a Gumroad people called Grafit Studio. So I'll also just type their name and stuff in the description. You can go find them. Really good quality references. So let's get started. And I need to look at this image for a little bit, think about the gesture. Gonna definitely go from that arm to that elbow all the way down to that foot, and we'll see if we can pop it all on the page. I don't know exactly how far I'm gonna go with these drawings, but I'll just go until they feel good. That twist, I should do a bit more confident, something like that. I think we can work with. Maybe a bit more exaggerated. Now we can work with this, I think. Now let's try find the direction of the shoulders, definitely sweeping up a bit, and then the hips sitting down. I think they're still going down a little bit like that. That's the feeling I'm getting from it anyway. So let's see here. I've got that. Maybe we'll pop in that nice direction of that leg. That swoops right back inwards. Really nice gesture on that foot and that whole shin bone there. Now we'll get it with the other leg. Maybe I'll put my hip over here. Yeah, there we go. I think that's okay so far proportion wise, but I won't really know until I put everything else in. Gonna put that leg in anyway. Know where I'm going with it. Again, I'm still working off my first gesture. So let's continue this. This and this. We decided that was that leg. The pastel on the newsprint actually feels really nice. I suggest you give it a go. Pastel pencil is lovely. It's a bit harder to sharpen, harder than the charcoal. I think the wood they use is actually a bit tougher than the wood in the charcoal. Or that could just be me having an off day sharpening it, because I definitely broke it beforehand. Get that tummy in. There's a nice direction there. It's telling us a lot. We'll get the rib cage in as well. Direction up at the back. Really nice curves going on that we can work with. Really lovely shapes. Breasts in all the way connecting to the top of that rib cage. And then the shoulder on that side. Let me make sure I'm putting that in correctly. I think there's maybe too much. Right now I'm looking at the negative space between the leg and the stomach on the reference, and I think I've put it a bit too far in, so let's throw that bit forward out, and that feels a little bit better. Kind of being kind of quite loose and just feeling my way around the figure, not being super measured, but it can give a lot of movement. And then this breast connects right up to that arm, which I think is going to end up going up here somewhere. So let's figure that out. Maybe I'll throw in the back first. Definitely get that shoulder in. That overlaps that rib cage, you can kind of see. And then we're back up to that arm, right? Again, the pressure I'm putting down, not again, because it's the first time I'm saying it, but the pressure I'm putting down on my pencil is very little. I'm kind of just letting it touch the page. Don't have to use a lot of force here. Letting the pencil do the work for me. It's going off the page a bit, but that's okay. We're not too concerned about that arm. This pose is actually very nice. It'd be nice as a painting. A lot of movement going on. We going down here. Get that calf in. Getting lovely shapes that we can work with. Simple shapes as well, you know. We're not making them too complicated. We're just doing sweeping lines and straight lines, really. This foot is in here somewhere, but let's try find out where the front of the leg overlaps the back in our view. Throw that in. And maybe I'll try to do this as a painting one day. This is a very nice pose to work with. Lovely shapes, and actually the way the light hits the form, I think is something nice to be studied. There we go. Get that knee in properly. This is sitting quite well, I think. Not a bad start to the drawing. I think that foot's just slightly longer, right? Yeah, maybe there. I think it's a bit better. And we've kind of lost the arm a bit. But I don't know what it is. As soon as something starts falling off the page, it just feels weird to start drawing in. Maybe I'll just put an idea of that hand there. That works okay for me. Yeah. Now we could continue, but I think I'm going to leave that one just as it is. Actually, I'm going to leave that arm out. I think it pose works better just the back there. Yeah, okay. We'll go for the next pose there. Let's see where our next image is. Alright. Again, we got to find, well, we look at the image for a bit, think about our gesture line before we throw it down. This is what's going to tell us about the whole pose. Make sure you can actually see the page properly. There we go. So it's definitely a sweeping curve. Like the head's tilted upwards more, so the head's going to be a little more like that. But there's a sweeping curve from the back down into the leg that goes back straight down. So we'll get that idea in. That's going to be for my head. I'd say my gesture is going to be about here. Yeah, I think I'm maybe drawing these slightly too big for the page, but it's fine. Let's get the shoulders in. The shoulders are twisting around from the back. I always got to think, I can't see the back of his, the other side of his form, his right shoulder. I can give it I can feel it out and then form me layer to the rest of it. Twist down onto that arm. Back has a nice twist to it. Got a lot of form going on here to work with. And then, we didn't even find the hips. What are we doing? Hips are quite stationary, nearly straight across. There's not, we can tell by his legs that there's not a lot of weight on one leg or the other. So it's kind of fairly straight across. But remember, we've got a side view, so we're not seeing that straight. But we have to be aware of it when we're drawing. Back kind of connects in. You can see that muscle easy to the spine. And yeah, there's an indication of the spine there. The back folds out again. Back into those hips. Get that stomach in. Stomach has a lovely shape to it we can work with. Just check our proportion, see if it flows the way I'm seeing it in the back into that stomach area. Yeah, that's looking okay. Maybe tilt slightly more upwards than how I'm drawing. And then in. And then let's find where that rib starts to connect. If I'm going to say that's like that pit of the spine that's slightly curving inwards. I think it starts kind of twisting in like this, doesn't it? Just kind of referencing from point to point to my own drawing, how to develop this. Let's see here. I'm jumping from place to place here, but why not? Whatever feels good. Just let my eyes flow through the drawing. Get that shoulder in. And the hair's coming down around here. The hair's a lot of flow to it. We can work with that. And nice gesture of the arm heading upwards. See, I'm twisting my arm, my elbow here to get it nice, just a flick upwards. I'm not putting a lot of pressure down. Don't need to think about the curve too much. Because it comes, all these forms come in and out slowly, but get the major gesture first. That's your foundation to work with. I need to draw this out just a little bigger. I think I'm getting a bit messy on the back as well, but not the end of the world. Again, this is just my own study, so I don't need to worry about this being perfect, you know? This is a time to learn from my mistakes. And I've definitely gone off the page here, so we'll just maybe focus more on the upper body. And then let me think where he's looking at his hand in the photo, so that's giving me a good bit of direction to where I'm going to throw it in. And then again, simple shapes for the hands. We're working pretty small with a big utensil, so I'm definitely not going to put those fingers in, but I'll give an indication of the gesture of them, you know. I think that's okay. Skinnier, then it comes out again. How are we looking for this? Let me put the hair in. Really nice shapes going on here that we can work with. I think his head comes out just a little bit more than what I've drawn it. And comes in. Puts it a bit in darkness, so maybe I'm not going to be able to get that in right now. And let me clean up my forms before we continue on. Or we might even just end it after this. What time are we at? 13 minutes? Maybe I'll do a quick one after this as well. This is also quite a nice form to play around with. Got some really nice cast shadows and core shadows happening. But if I was coming in now, I'd definitely clean it up a bit. You can see in the back that I went just a bit messy with it. And it throws off kind of like where am I actually ending this back? I want it to look like so it's ending out here, but just too many lines inside that makes it look a little bit messy. Before we move on, is there anything I'd really want to consider? I think it's okay. This might be nice for a longer drawing though. Though I said that about the last one as well. I think you find out when you start to sketch things, even if you're trying to like figure out a sketch for a bigger painting, you really start to learn a lot from that initial sketch before you start to paint. That can influence your drawing later on, or your proper piece later on. Okay, I'm alright with that. Let's go for the next one. I'll do one more. Okay, let me get that picture up. Oh, what are we doing? That's a nice one. A lot of movement in that one, and different directions of the hips and the shoulders. Hips are fairly face on, but with a tilt upwards, and then the shoulders are turning around and facing the other direction. Let's think. Or turning around, which means it does face the other direction. But you kind of get what I'm trying to say. Let's work over here. Maybe I can save this spot for another drawing for myself later. Oh, then think about... It's always good to take a second just to think about the gesture. Head's over here. Torso curves inwards and then back down the legs. I think I'll use this leg as a nice gesture because that just has a bit more of a turn to it than the other one. A bit easier to see and work with. My eyes kind of go that direction a bit more, eh? Get them shoulders in, or just a twist of the torso in. Indication for myself. And then the twist of the body. Hips have a bit of a tilt to them as well. Into that leg I was talking about earlier. Twist back down to here. Make sure if that works. That's the pit of my neck. Yeah, the knee should be about here. That makes sense so far. Let us get that arm in. It's giving us a lot of direction. And again up here, the other arm. That twist of the stomach is lovely. We'll try to throw just an idea of that in for now. Again, I might be a bit sloppy with my lines over here. Not the end of the world. Maybe we'll start get that. That's a nice turn we can get. Just at the hips here, into the thigh. Stomach, into the breast here. My arm comes down about here. Yeah, that proportion's not looking too bad. Get the other breast in under the knee. Gives us good direction and sense of gravity. Get that stomach in we were talking about earlier. Yeah, that's looking okay. Maybe we'll just get an indication of the ribs there. And here as well. Again, just something light, not too heavy. Might be drawing a slightly wider. Not the end of the world. I'm getting the idea of the gesture down, I think, so far. And that was my main goal. I think I might have said it at the start, but if not, it's my main goal now. Or was my main goal just to enjoy myself? Yeah, we're accomplishing both, so it's okay. The knee of this is definitely in front of the thigh here. Just to give an indication of that. So then the knee of the other leg is coming down into that calf. Yeah, that's great. That's doing alright. You know, actually, I think I drew this a bit stiff, really. I think I lost some of the gesture. Oh no. That's okay. Maybe I'll review my drawing later myself. See what went wrong. I also need to sharpen my pencil a bit. But I'm not blaming my tools, don't worry. Can't be doing that. Okay, we're getting into the upper body here. There's a really nice turn of that neck. That tells us a lot. Lovely to get that in. That shoulder muscle. Get the hair in. I always like just putting like a little, what's this called, a little bun in the back. I think that little bit of circle, or that like semicircle you can get in can tell us a lot about shape and direction of the head, how much it's tilted back and whatnot. Obviously, you know, if you're doing a portrait commission, don't give everyone you see a little bun. If you're doing sketches, I think it's fine. Yeah, I think I lost a good bit, like around here. It's quite stiff. It should be more twisted that way, then turned into here. Yeah, I don't have as much of a twist as I need over here, eh? Good to know anyway. Good to know where I went wrong. And we'll just finish up getting the legs in. Yeah, okay, I think we're okay with all that. Right. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.